Season
5.
Wait, we're still doing this?
Yeah, surprisingly, yeah, we are. Hello, folks.
Hi.
This is another episode of the Maximum Mouthage Podcast.
What episode are we on? I know we're on season 5. What episode we got?
This is 3, technically, because
Is
we had
it?
we had a bunch of bonus stuff.
No, you're right. I don't know,
Yes.
I kind of lost track. Everything just kind of flowed. I'm like, all right, this is episode such this. No, it's not.
Folks, last episode, the technical episode that we had was a bonus episode. It's on our Patreon, exclusively on our Patreon.
Yeah, go watch it.
Yes, go check that out.
Suitcase, myself, and Maze ranked Pokemon Red and Green sprites.
Yes.
You'd be surprised what we put in that rank.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you.
And for the main podcast tonight, we do have a couple special guests here. The
Yeah.
one gentleman here, he was in our podcast briefly. We have Drummer Guy here.
Hello.
We also have a new guest here, known as the Godfather.
Hey, how you doing?
I think that's about all I wanted to talk about really quick. Make sure you check out the Patreon. Got a bunch of bonus stuff on there.
Yeah.
But
a lot
was
more
there
coming.
anything you wanted to add, Medikai, before we start?
We got a $1,000 card at work today. Guy took $1,000 cash for it, I guess.
My gosh.
I don't know what card it was. I didn't see, but yeah, that was it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
a
would
lot of
love
people
to.
trading in the cards.
I would love to collect cards again, but I can't. I just can't do it.
They're up there, man, because Spider-Man dropped in Magics. Now we have a Soul Stone, which is the orange one. $1,800
Gross.
for that one card. I'm like, no. But then that hints that they're going to add more Marvel to it because you can just have one Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cards are going wild. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep that brief. Just
Yeah,
because.
we'll keep that brief. This is going to be an interesting subject for this podcast. And
We're about to get, I won't say personal, but this is not something we've gone into detail with
yeah.
at all.
And folks,
But it should be.
yes. And folks, if you don't want to listen to it, sorry. Tough. This is our podcast. We talk what
I
we
mean,
want to talk about.
there's other
So-
things that will get suited for you if it's not us this week. That's okay. I won't hunt you down.
So we're going to talk about how it is to be a straight male in today's day and age. Drummer Guy, would you like to start?
Sure. What is it like? Well, first of all, you're a generation apart from me. So, even though it was there when we were growing up, you didn't. I mean, not like now. It was hidden. That's why they call it coming out of the closet, probably. So, and probably same with the Godfather here.
Don't feel bad. I would
think
drop
I
names
think we
every.
fall into the baby boomers. I don't know. One of my weirdest experiences was, and it happened. I don't know, not a lot, but a handful of times. Gay guys hitting on me. It was uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable. I did not like it. I didn't care for it. I remember I was at the gym one time in a hot tub, and the guy was a music teacher at one of the schools. He started playing footsie with me. So I was like,
What were you doing in the hot tub?
soaking.
Oh, okay.
What do you usually do in a hot tub at the gym?
No, what does Godfather do in the hot tub in the
Yeah, I
gym?
know,
I have
Godfather.
never been in a hot tub.
Really?
Really?
Well, you don't
Not
know.
in the gym. No.
Oh.
I thought you were talking about Everett's. Like, really?
Oh, this was a nice gym. It was a European health spa. Anyway, then Bally's later on. And then the other kind of weird thing was, like, on a couple of occasions, there were girls I guess I was attracted to, and they were lesbians. You know, my brother was supposedly gay. I know now from a Christian perspective that, you know, it's not right. It's a sin, and it separates us from God. You know, it's no different than practicing any other sin, I guess. Stealing, lying, killing, whatever, you know. I know the world doesn't view, or a lot of the people in the world don't view it as that. Although I do see a shift in things. You know, people going more towards God's moral laws, I guess, whatever. So, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. You guys, you ever had any odd experiences?
I have had that little lesbian experience where it's like, she seems attractive.
Yeah.
Then you realize she's she's a lesbian. It's like, well, that's off the table.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
But it just seems like nowadays, as a straight dude, you have to walk on eggshells. You're kind of forced to by society. Because, I mean, obviously you don't have to, if you don't,
Yeah, well, and it's true with not just being straight. I think it's true with, again, I know you guys don't. It's not something you thump on your show here, or whatever. But Christian values, getting back to the basis that the country was founded on. Actually, was the reason we came here was because the church in England, a lot of it was religious persecution. The Pilgrims and the Puritans, and they were doing things in the church that were not right, and they didn't agree with it, and they wanted to form their own, that didn't have those influences. And that's why we have some of the things that we have today. Because they said no, and they revolted against what maybe what the mainstream or the governing power or whatever was telling them. So, anyway, but I kind of see that changing. So I apologize. I'm going on. Go ahead.
no, you're right.
Yeah.
What do you want to say, Godfather?
Listening to you, my friend, I got thinking back to when I grew up,
Yeah.
and the gay issue was not really there
Mm-hmm.
when I was little, when I was growing up, and I don't really remember when I really started being more aware of people that were gay. I just maybe I started seeing a little bit of it on TV.
Well, right.
If you look at some of the soap operas and some of the sitcoms that came out, gradually they started having a gay character, a gay
They were
situation.
challenging
Yeah, and-
what was
and-
the norm.
But I that was never really, that was something far away on TV. Things you didn't really see in
Right.
real life. And I do remember the first time that I found out through a friend that somebody I went to high school with came out and said, "Well, I'm gay."
Yeah.
And it was just like, it kind of shocked me. I'm going, really? People admit that? And that's how it was many, many years ago. I'm saying maybe 30, 40 years ago.
Sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No, I mean, that was something that was kind of an eye-opener for me.
Well,
Yeah.
really, what I saw, I mean, you're a few years older than me, but it is my generation's fault that we are in this mess. Because started like the 60s and the whole free love movement, music, things like that. They all started questioning norms, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but they were questioning God's norms. Where did where like free sex? That was something that we didn't do it because it's irresponsible. Because of it, we have over 1 million whatever abortions. Mm-hmm. We have STDs. We had the AIDS crisis. We also have, I think how should I put it? A repercussion out of all that is this sexual confusion, because we tried to find happiness through sex and drugs and rock and roll, and it bottomed out. I mean, look at all the people what do they call it? The 27 Club. The people in music that have tried to pursue these things, fame, fortune, blah, 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 and they wind up getting burned out because that is not the answer. So,
Well, you mentioned a lot of things in your list, but the only I think the thing that really got the gay issue in the news was AIDS.
absolutely.
Yeah, and that was probably
That was
seen
probably
the
a kick the door open. Yeah,
Never
you're
seen
probably
the-
right.
Seen the movie Philadelphia?
Yes.
Was one of the early movies that brought the A issues to a situation in court.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think that there's certain things in history, issues that came up that really kind of made people more aware of.
Oh, absolutely,
Some
absolutely.
things were just trickled by.
Well, because there are things that have.
The
I mean, it was an epidemic because that's what we allowed it to get to. That's the thing. You know, we were talking earlier, you and I, about boundaries, and when you get into that kind of living, you don't have any boundaries. You know, that's why God does the things that He does. He gives us boundaries. It's like the guardrails on the side of the road, you know,
Right.
so you don't go over the cliff and drive off to your death. And we want to disregard those things. And I've done it. I mean, we all do it. You know, we know it's wrong. We're going to do it anyway. And then we gripe about the consequences of our behavior. You know?
You guys are mentioning when you saw something like that for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't remember how old I was. 9, 10, 11 years old, maybe in that era of my life.
Saw a gay person.
Yeah, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I remember I was confused by it. Because,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
It is confusing.
you know,
They're confused.
And and I asked my mom, you know, what is this, you know?
yeah.
And she tried to explain it, but it seems like nowadays it's so, and we've mentioned this on the podcast too, crammed down our throats now
Yes.
because it's supposed to be accepted in society and they have a whole month dedicated to it and all that.
I know.
And it's like, and
Well-
that's why I said going back to walking on eggshells, if we mention anything about being a Christian or being straight, oh, you're a homophobic bigot,
I know.
you know? And it's like, look, you're cramming it down our throats with a whole month dedicated to that stuff. I
think
mention
they're
it,
doing away with
and
it, I
you
think.
think I'm cramming it down my throat. Look what your agenda is.
Well.
The flags, all these company logos with rainbows on them. It's like, dude, calm down.
It's like you do you, but I don't need a parade to see it.
Well, and see, that's the thing. But that's the problem. Is you guys are rationalizing it. They're not. It's very
No.
emotional. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if you try to live with yourself, if you have this, well, I'll call it a demon inside you that confuses you about your gender. You know, we got enough of them
Yeah.
that confuse us about our weight, our height, our how much hair we have or don't have or whatever. You know.
Talk to me about height.
Yeah,
My
sorry,
full-
Shorty.
My 5 foot self.
Sorry, Shorty. And
I look up to all my friends, literally.
I'm not, well, that's just because you have tall friends.
Yep.
That total. If you're talking statistics, that skews your statistics. So
But
anyway,
there is people out there that, like we've mentioned before the podcast, where one day they're a male, the next day they're a female. It's like that's not how it
And
works.
then you swap
Because
over the next day.
they're
I feel like being a man now.
that's the
No.
thing. Again, you're trying to. You're assuming they're thinking rationally.
right.
You know, really. I mean,
Is that
did somebody?
Is that really part of this gay thing? One day you're male, next day you're female.
Is it part of? It's part of the whole gambit. It's
Yep.
because it becomes a big ball of confusing rubber bands, and you can't piece. You know, and what it is they base again on how they feel, not on rational. Do you think like how should I put it? I mean, if you look like Bruce Jenner or whatever his name is now, you know, if he'd have researched it and looked into it and see how many people are actually happy after they do those things, I think he's a shining example. He's talked about struggling with depressions and he's in and out of things, and people cheer him on because he's so brave. For what? Cutting himself up and turning himself into something that he's not?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, really, let's speak that truth here. That's not bravery. That's cowardice. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, that's honestly how I feel about it. And I feel as though a lot of things are misrepresented and people cheer on. It's propaganda is what it is.
Did Bruce Jenner actually consider himself gay before
He's
or
transsexual,
Yeah,
I believe.
I'm
Yep.
not entirely sure what he
I didn't-
No,
identifies
Yeah,
he's
as.
came
not.
out.
He's not necessarily gay. I think he just like to dress up like women all it. Like
but the issue was to being a straight male in a gay in a straight male
mhm.
in how you
In society.
in
they-
society.
Yeah.
But I don't think Bruce Jenner ever really came out as a gay person.
No, he's not. I
He's not.
literally, I just looked it up.
What is he like? More transsexual? Or?
In a 2015 interview, Caitlyn Jenner, aka Bruce,
That was Caitlyn, yeah.
stated she was not gay and identified as heterosexual, explaining that gender identity is separate from sexual orientation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Clarified
whatever.
that she was attracted to women, but as a woman, which is consistent with being heterosexual. No, it's not. Technically, at that point, it does make them gay because
Well,
now
see,
she's
that's
a woman.
again. That is his idea. That's his rendition.
Yeah.
He's confused. Okay. I mean, they're making these just like critical race theory. Before Darwin and those guys came along in evolution, there was no such thing as race. It didn't exist.
Nope.
Yep.
You had people from different lands and different cultures. You did not have races before Darwin and all those other guys came up with like evolution because they were trying to disprove creation. And that's pretty much what it boils down to. They were a bunch of atheists. That's how we got eugenics, which is what drove Nazi ism and to kill all those Jews. Eugenics is I don't know if you ever heard of it before. It's the whole idea behind selective breeding, really. So if I'm a ruling class or ruling whatever, and I view you as a lesser subject, you're a Jew, retarded. I mean, they were going after everybody, gypsies. You die, and that's
Almost kind of sounds like what's happening now with abortions and
sort of, yeah.
people being homosexual because you can't have two guys reproduce, you can't have two women reproduce. So
God didn't make it that way.
the government's like, hey, we're gonna make a whole month and everything, about Pride Month and blah blah blah, just this constantly everywhere, and population goes down, people are having less kids.
And you think about
And-
it, if you play all that stuff out, like what if the whole population went homosexual? How would you create life anymore? And then you're going to kill them off, the ones that do. No, it's definitely, that's what I said, it is of evil, because all evil wants to do is kill and destroy. Hitler, I mean, he was definitely not of God. He was of the devil, and that's an earthly manifestation of evil, and how those thoughts get into your head and then they turn into, you becoming unique and special and everybody else has to die. Mm-hmm. That's exactly how serial killers are. Yep. There was a guy that did an interview with him, and he thought that at first it was this theory that they all had low self-esteem. He went around and found out they were all narcissistic. And they thought that last act should be grandiose. The world should see it, and they should be memorialized for it. That ain't rational thinking.
Mm-hmm. And it's especially with going back to abortions. You'll have one woman be like, "Oh, I've had like 45 abortions." Like, whoa!
Good Lord. I don't know if your body can endure that.
It's like, calm down. Condoms are not that expensive.
Yeah, well,
Cheaper
what I
than the
saw
abortion?
That I saw was even more disturbing behind the counter at 7-Eleven a while back. Day
Plan B.
after pills.
Yep.
Day after pill.
Yeah, they're.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, I thought you had to have a prescription for them. Apparently not. They
Yeah.
sell them over the counter.
Yeah, and they're promoting this stuff. Oh, take the Plan B pill. Take the day after pill. You know,
How about
let's make it readily available for these young teenage girls to.
Right. Some of
Yeah.
the stuff I believe they're recalling because they're seeing long-term effects. But the problem is that usually if somebody takes those things like an abortion, they don't want everybody to know about it. You know, so if they do get sick or something happens, the chances of them wanting to go to a doctor, you know,
I think it's
and then also, I'm sorry,
no, you're
I was
fine.
gonna say, abortion clinics, they also, it's a eugenics thinking. They target the poor because, again,
Right.
they're less. So they really push these clinics when, you know, like say a poor black gal comes in, they're going to, you know, they're not going to share options with her. They're gonna, you know, they're gonna give her the speech about, well, you're poor and black and you can't afford it and blah blah blah, which is bullshit because
Yeah,
they don't
that's-
really know the outcome.
That really is, man. That is really crooked.
No, it is. Oh my gosh!
How it
It's, you know what else they were doing? They were well. They actually, the way that they abort the children is really sadistic.
I read a thing about
They
that.
break
It's like,
their
nope,
necks and no,
nope.
it's like there's no way you could you know, survive one of those things because they intentionally kill you. Then they take the organs and they sell them. They harvest them.
That's fucked up.
You know, there was a while back, there was a guy that caught him on it, and they like launched a huge lawsuit against the guy to try to cover it up. But they had he got video footage or audio footage of some doctors joking around about, you know, the organs from an abortion clinic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's sick.
Oh,
And that's the thing. There is no God in any of that.
and going back to being the straight male in this whole thing,
Yeah.
most men want to, you know, find a good woman, get married, have just a traditional kind of family thing. Mm-hmm. And if the girl's like, "No, I want to kill the kid," well, I don't want you to kill the kid. And it's like that's
now you're the problem.
yeah, and now
Well,
you're
you
the problem.
are.
My body, my choice, and blah blah blah. And it's like,
Yeah, well, that kind of happened to me. Fallon's mother. She got pregnant when we were young. She had an abortion. It was early on when it was like the 80s, early 80s, when they just passed Roe versus Wade. I mean, I've asked for forgiveness. I was dumb, stupid. I was scared out of my mind. And her friend wound up taking her. And
well,
it was just, I mean, like, that is hung over my head for
How old were you?
18.
18?
oh yeah, so
I
you were,
was
you were.
young,
I mean,
19.
compared to other people, you were a baby.
Oh no, I
Still.
didn't know I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I didn't know what I was doing. I was getting sex, and then the ultimate happened.
Yep.
So
But that happens to most everybody though. Maybe not that, to that extreme, but
whatever.
when
happened
you're
to me.
you're doing stupid stuff when you're younger because you're directionless.
Right.
I think I mentioned this on the podcast with our trauma dump. I think
Which one?
Faulkner Park.
I don't remember.
Oh,
if you
that
did,
guy
but
that
yes.
you fell off your car.
Yeah,
I don't remember if that
Yeah,
was
I
on that
remember hearing
podcast,
that
but
story.
if you want to share it again, real quick,
Well, I'll do a brief summary.
yeah,
of
that's
it.
all I do. A brief.
So
one,
my
'cause I don't
friends and
remember.
Menakai and I, and a couple other people, we were doing we were trying to
I'm just as guilty of it.
we were doing jackass stunts. And
Not to their extent, but to the extent we knew we could handle.
yeah.
Were you there?
There's
I was there. I said I was
Yeah.
about just as guilty. I wasn't
And-
doing half of it, but I was there.
Yeah, and
Guilty because you were there.
Yep.
yeah. And what ended up happening was these random kids came over. Hey, we want to do jackass stunts with you. Sure.
All right.
So they started like hanging on my car, jumping out of the trunk of my car, and doing stunts with my car because I'm stupid.
And if you remember, Faulkner Park's got the speed bumps.
Yeah, I
On
went
the
over a
road.
speed bump. One of the kids fell off the trunk of the car, got a giant bloody goose egg on his head.
Oh, nice.
So cops are called, ambulance is called. At the time, I was just learning how to drive. My parents did not want me to drive with people in my car.
You were busted.
So,
Yeah.
so guess
Many
what
layers.
I didn't do?
Did you have your license at that time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So he was technically free, but also not.
Yeah. So what ended up happening, so I told my parents about it. My mom came, picked me up. Couldn't face my dad because I was so ashamed. And you know, we've all done stupid things in the past. So that happened. I had to go through I had to buy my own lawyer, which was $400. And I had to go through 1 year. He wanted to take it to court. I said, no, we'll just do the 1 year probation. Had a probation officer, went through 1 year probation, went through all of it, and paid $75 for a traffic ticket, fine, and done. So,
Yep.
you know, we've all, I'm sure, Godfather, you've done stupid things in the past. So
All
you're like,
done things we
Yep.
regret.
yeah. It's like, wow, boy, I was really stupid, wasn't it?
It all happened.
One
when
thing
you
I
were
regret
young.
just because I knew I shouldn't have been up there on that trampoline.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not even holding you on that. I shouldn't have been up there. For a quick thing, Mr. Mays boy, way back when, compressed fractured my spine up near my neck. Because we were backyard wrestling, and for those, if you want to paint a picture, back then, Mays boy was twice as big as me. So he could, in a sense, ragdoll me and throw me anywhere he wanted to.
Yeah.
And he had me in a wrong position for a move, which he didn't realize he had. I didn't realize it either because there was the adrenaline and everything going on. And he throws me all the way to the other side of the trampoline. I land on my neck, feet go over my head. I just hear crack. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, compressed fractured me. I shouldn't have been up there. That's on me. Stupid stuff.
Yep.
That's all it was. I will not hold Maze Boy to that, but yeah, it's stupid stuff. I shouldn't have been up there.
From all these stupid things that we do in the past, hopefully we learn from it.
I did a stupid thing this morning. I went to work.
No. It's not a stupid thing. It's a responsible thing.
It's a story of my life.
No. That's how you get away from stupid things is by doing the responsible thing instead
Yeah.
of the
That was people I
irresponsible
work with.
thing.
That's true.
So, well, yeah, let's speak the truth here, maximum mouthage. Anyway.
Yeah, because the more time you have on your hands, the more you can
Yep.
get into things that you shouldn't be.
Well, yeah, this is true.
You know, there's been times where I have a couple days off or something, and I'm home alone, and I'm just kind of sitting there. Like, you kind of, I don't know, you kind of feel down on yourself, and you kind of put yourself down.
Yeah.
Just, you know, being
those
home
are those
alone
voices.
for a period of time, and you're like, okay, I gotta get in the car and go somewhere. I gotta go do something.
I gotta go do something.
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
you'll probably hear barking because that's Buddy.
And if you don't hear it, you'll hear me reacting to it because I got to cover for Suitcase too. Pretty much every night of 2020, I had this little like I gotta move, even if it's just me walking around Faulkner for a while. I just had to move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those down in the dumps were not fun,
Yeah.
especially when you knew you were in a hopeless situation.
Yep. You know, there's probably a lot of guys like that now, especially the straight men, because there's a lot of women out there who have very unrealistic high expectations of getting a boyfriend or a husband.
Yeah, you think so?
Well, just
you
from
could
what
literally be Hercules and they'll still have a problem with you.
Well, now, hang on a minute. Let's not overgeneralize stuff.
Well, I'm not overgeneralizing. I'm just going by what
A
I've
little
seen online.
Okay.
Most women are just the ones that I've seen, anyways.
So that's your
They're like,
sampling from Facebook or
well,
whatever.
Facebook and TikTok and all that.
Okay.
You know, these women are like, the guy has to make at least 100 kabillion thousand a month, and if he doesn't, he won't be able to pay for my kids and me. He needs to pay for my nails, my hair.
Okay. Again,
and it's like,
let's be realistic. Let's
I am being realistic. I'm talking
Alright.
about what I see on TikTok and Facebook.
Okay.
I'm just saying, these are what, and
Yeah, buddy.
you can tell when people are kidding. These women genuinely sound
No,
serious.
I'm sure they are.
And you're like, are you serious?
well, that's,
First off, you're nothing to look at.
well, hang on. I mean, you gotta also understand maybe the other side of it too. Even though the expectations might be unreal, they're still, I guess, laying them out there, even though we don't agree with them. And yes, we do think that. But really, I mean, because I got 2 daughters, you know, and I'm looking at it from the other side, and I'm thinking I don't want them to be with some kind of bozo either.
obviously.
You know. And let me finish. You know, I mean, I want them to, because like some of that stuff, I guess like I as my daughter, I would do those things for her, and that's kind of how I would like a man in her life to treat her.
Right. No, I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying with this situation is women are allowed to have all these standards and preferences.
Well, why
but
don't
as soon
you?
as a guy says she has to have a car and a job, and
Well, hey, time out. Who said that? Who said that?
well, me for example, you
Why
have to have at
can't
least-
you? So what? You should feel bad about putting up those expectations.
No,
According to some of the women, yes.
you are beaten down for having
Who
the,
do you live by though? You're not
you
gonna
are
live by-
you are beaten down by the internet and
Well,
culture and everything for having what I'm trying to get at with this whole thing
Yeah, go ahead.
is women are allowed to have all these standards, but as soon as a guy says this and this about somebody, oh, you're an asshole. Oh, well, you're a deadbeat. No one gives a shit about you. You're a small dick asshole. And it's like, excuse me, I'm allowed
Language.
to have preferences. Like-
not only preferences, but expectations and boundaries.
Yeah.
If
What I'm getting at with this whole thing is apparently guys aren't supposed to have them, but women are allowed.
that is wait a minute. That's the internet world. Okay, again, let's talk reality. Are you actually in real life, even though some chick might think that you're saying what you're asking for is unrealistic, are you going to accept a woman that doesn't have a job, that doesn't have a car, that has 3 other boyfriends that, you know, shall I go on? Isn't that an expectation that you would set? Mm-hmm. And would be willing to, I don't know, you know, reciprocate and like take me out for maybe not to get your nails done, but I don't know. What do you go and have done? So anyway, a massage, maybe that would be
Can I
nice.
jump in here?
Sure, go ahead. Save me.
When you going back to what you said about women, didn't you say that they want a man that provides all these things for them? But I think in today's society, most women are self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Most women.
It's kind of a problem, actually.
Don't interrupt me.
Shut up.
Most women.
Okay, children.
Most women.
I'm gonna put you on both separate sides of this basement.
Most women take pride in being self-sufficient.
Oh, yeah.
Taking care of, and many of them have children from either a previous marriage or relationship, and they can take care of themselves.
Yes, they do.
They
Oh,
do
yeah.
very well. So they don't just sit back, and some do, but they don't sit back and say, "Oh, I want this. I want a man to take care of me, to buy me this, buy me that."
Right.
I don't think that that is as common as maybe you kind of hinted at it. Maybe you didn't hint at, but as people
Well, he didn't
think.
hint. No, he said it.
No, he already said it.
But I don't think they are looking for that.
I would agree.
I think women are just looking for
There's a fair number
I
of
think
them.
there
yes,
are-
but not.
Again, what you know,
person
and
they're-
yes,
again,
there-
they're equal.
Right.
They could share a life, but
Oh,
not.
yeah.
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 Oh,
no,
yeah, if
there,
you're- yeah,
there-
if-
and there's
if-
always going to be that popular. The people that are parasites, basically. You know, who want to take, and not give anything
Yeah.
back.
Oh, yeah. And if the woman's self-sufficient, that's awesome. You know what? If she wants to be a single mother to raise her kids, she just wants to focus on her life. That's awesome. More power to her. But just from what I have seen, and you know how like you watch one video on Facebook Reels, and then that's what they show you is that kind of video that you watch. Then you see more ridiculous videos of that coming up, and you're like, oh my gosh, these girls are
Yeah.
serious.
It's called brainwashing.
You finish that video. Oh, this is what you actually want to watch. Here's seven
but
more.
that's you just pointed it out right there. You're getting how do I put it? Like you're pulling from a very specialized group, I guess. I'm trying to think of an example where I can give you like a correlation or something. It's like you're only asking a specific group of people, and therefore you're only getting that
Right.
Yeah.
opinion, I
Right.
guess. Whereas, I mean, I've seen, because I'm looking at an older, class of women, I guess, whatever you want to call it, and I peruse them as well. And a lot of the women are, they get to my age and they've already raised their kids, and their kids are doing great, and they're off being rocket scientists or whatever, and and they don't need any. What he says is true. I mean, if they'd gotten that far in life, they didn't do it with a man,
Right.
or they might have,
Right.
But they nonetheless, then it was a team. If they've been that success, just like me, I've been through 2-3 divorces, but I've still been able to maintain my. I haven't allowed those things to drag me down
Exactly.
with them.
That's not your personality.
Whatever.
Like because there's some
No,
people that
it's
make
true.
that their entire personality. Oh, I'm a single person. I need somebody to be with, but they need
I
to follow.
struggle with that. I struggle.
Oh yeah, I mean every.
That's a whole identity thing. That,
I think every
and
single guy that's been single for a long period of time has gone through something like that.
Sure, you have
You
to.
know.
You have to, because as the saying goes, if you're not happy by yourself, you're not going to be happy in a relationship.
Right.
So true happiness comes from playing drums.
And I think a lot of the playing guitar.
I wonder
But-
why he's called Drummer Guy.
Thank you.
Right. But I think a lot of these women I see on there that have these unrealistic expectations are young 20-some-year-old, 18-year-old girls who
Looking
have made
for
mistakes, have 3 kids, and
Looking for someone to rescue.
they don't have these realistic hey, sweetheart, Hercules isn't going to be a 6'7" guy, 6-pack and big wang. He's going to be, the guy who's busting his ass at a construction site with a beer belly, who's going to be actually taking care. You know what I mean?
Which should be a red flag for us. That
Right.
that is not the kind of girl.
Oh yeah, I mean 100%.
But a lot of their expectations, like you said, are really based on how they were raised
Yeah,
by their mothers.
Yep.
and
True,
grandmothers.
true.
A lot of it, I think, is generational.
Yeah.
Whether,
Very
I
true.
mean, maybe their grandmothers were one way, and their mothers were again the same attitude,
Yep.
and they are, and their daughters will.
or maybe they don't have a relationship with their father.
Part
or
of
their
that's
father
part
left
of
or
it.
something.
It's so
Our
many-
democratic system with welfare has set up. They really took away the need for the father figure in the home by doing that.
Yeah.
Even though, yeah, it empowers women. I understand all that, but women got that, and how a lot. Again, that's why a lot of them are like that, because it's like, well, I don't need a man. They're nothing but trouble and blah blah blah. Anyway, so then they probably slingshot to the other end where they want Prince Charming and.
But those women who don't say they don't need a man is because they've tried it and they've had so many bad experiences.
Yeah.
No,
They say that's it.
I could say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't need a
Well, you
woman.
don't- exactly.
I don't. I mean, I've gotten to the point I would like someone. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe that's a bad analogy. I was just say like I don't need a friend. I always need friends. I don't need a woman to be like the central point of my.
Your
Be
life.
Complete. You don't need a woman.
Yes,
You're,
thank you. That's a
you're
good way to put it.
self-sufficient on
That's
your
a
own,
good
or
way,
you
right.
don't need.
If someone
somebody else to add
which
to
is
it.
kind of the way I've always felt, but just never been. Everybody that comes in, they just like, what can I ravage and get out of this, plunder and pillage, and then leave the guy,
I mean, honestly, at this point, if I don't get married by at least 40, I'm probably just going to stay single.
whatever. I mean, you don't know.
Never
It,
know.
it really,
No, that's
it's,
true.
God,
I mean,
it's
there's some
God's
people
plan.
75 years old. They found love. They got married.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
Done deal.
that's true.
absolutely,
So you never know.
absolutely.
But going back to obviously the main subject, that's what makes dating very difficult. Because you've told me from dating app experiences where it's like, okay, dodging that bullet.
Well, and I had to learn too because I didn't dodge a couple of bullets. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about all that. I mean, it might be a good way just to get acquainted with somebody, but I don't know. And I feel like they're all just
Buddy's mad
not
at me.
sincere, and I don't even know if they know what they're looking for. And a lot of them are just creepy and scary.
Yeah.
I mean, we get the witches and all that.
Oh,
Yes.
There's compilations
Oh, my
online of
heavens.
your
And I
screenshots of
think the older
conversations.
you get, the more you experience.
Oh, gosh.
Like he just said, the more you experience different
Oh, yeah,
situations.
yeah.
And I think I was older when I got married, so I had experienced many different types of women.
Had you?
Yeah, and there's so many different kinds out there.
Oh, heavens. Just
Yeah.
as like,
Oh, my-
well,
Yeah.
guys. There's so many different guys.
So
Go ahead.
going to something creepy. Watching TikTok, and this girl is like, I don't understand why this guy wanted to break up with me. And she's like, well, I'll tell you the story. We've been dating for probably like 2 or 3 months. And he was hanging out in my room, and he found my collection of bird beaks.
See what?
Bird beaks.
He felt her
He-
collection.
He found her collection
Oh,
of bird
found-
beaks.
Of bird beaks.
my gosh.
And then he found her
There's a whole bunch
collection of
birds
rat
running around
tails.
without beaks now. What?
He found her collection of rat tails.
Well,
Even better.
that
And he's like,
that'd be a good example of why.
well, apparently it was
I think
because
psychotic
she
behavior falls under that.
was doing spells. And he was like, "Where do you get the beaks from?"
That's
Oh, just dead
that's
animals
the
on the
dog.
side of the
Oh,
road.
yeah. That happened to me too. I had
And it's like you're confused as to why the guy wanted to break up with you and leave. And she's like, "Oh,
It's not-
all girls do this stuff." It's like,
No, they don't.
no, they don't.
I can walk down the street and every single one of them will not do that.
No.
Little creepy.
My second wife became a witch, a Wiccan. So she moved an altar. It was a piece of furniture. She called it an altar into the house, and
Nice.
yeah, no, it was very, very weird. It's very weird. And that, again, getting back to, I mean, he's already married, so and he found a good woman. I think, yes, he did.
He's like, she's all right.
No, I
On
love
a
her.
good
She's
day.
awesome. She's a great cook, actually. Anyway, but like for you and me, and well, even this guy, even though he never says anything about it, if he ever wants to get hooked up with somebody, that's why it's important that we find somebody that has Christian values. Being a witch is not a Christian value, which, by the way, when I met her, she was not practicing, so I kind of got bamboozled by the whole thing. I knew she had an interest in it, and at that point, I didn't really fully
He was
appreciate.
flabbergasted
Well,
for bringing big words into this.
yeah, I know. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it's those are
That boy's
like,
mad at me.
huh?
That boy upstairs is mad at me.
Oh well, he'll get over it.
I closed the
It's
door.
one
on
of
his
those things that I'm more now that I've traveled the road a little further and gone through some oopses. These things are red flags.
Yeah.
They're not Christian values. Like even my Danette, my last one, she claimed she was Catholic, but she wasn't a Christian. So I got confused by that because we're a good Catholic family and church, whatever she said about trying to defend her position about things. But just the things that she would do were not from a godly spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, those fruits of the spirit, peace and patience and all those other things. And to me, that's an indicator. If you're not producing fruits of the spirit, then you're not for me.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of people don't look at it that way.
Well,
And
as
what-
Christians, we kind
yeah,
of
but
have
what
to.
you but what you're saying
Mhm.
truly is a situation that just because you belong to a certain church,
Mhm.
because maybe you were baptized and you say, "All right, I'm Catholic," and it could be another person that sits in the same pew who's also Catholic. It doesn't mean you're the same kind of person.
No, not at all.
Totally different. One
Not at
could
all.
be godlike. One could be a
Absolutely.
horrible person on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the rest of the week. Then they go to church on Sunday
Yep.
and they pretend that they're
I'm the holiest person on this planet.
And you
kind
know
of
the
thing.
world is
Not
full
very
of
true.
those people, and yet they'll proclaim that yes,
right. No, I
they're the holiest.
right.
Yep.
So
And that's
I'm
a
going
sin.
to
That
quote-
is a sin.
I'm going to quote the Bible and bless you, and then
Monday
behind your
comes,
back,
it's-
wow, that guy's a dick.
Monday it's
Well, again,
F you, F you, F this,
What
F
is
that.
what's that's why I mean I even like with myself I even have to start paying attention to like what comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Am I saying negative, sarcastic, cynical things? Am I cussing a lot? No, I don't cuss at all. Anyway, just kidding.
Now we're gonna have to edit this out. Thanks, drummer.
I
Dan.
know, I know.
gee.
This
I
is
had
a-
to throw that in.
This
I'm
is
sorry.
a PG
Believe-
stream, man.
do you have a
Did
censor?
that?
Do you this?
No.
No, absolutely not.
I want to hear. Like,
You should.
No.
Just this one time,
At
do
any
it.
rate.
yeah,
Just one time, just do
one
it.
time out
Just
of
do it.
every podcast we've ever done. No,
So
actually, really
anyway.
quick, we had a drunk podcast. We had like 2.5 hours of recording.
Oh, nice.
I was going to bleep some of it out for YouTube, but there was so much there. It's like, screw it.
Just put it
I
on.
mean, I put on this podcast, this is an older audience because it is not for
Audience
kids.
only. I mean, none of our
Nice.
podcasts are for kids, really.
Because when you upload the YouTube video, it says, is this for 18 plus or for kids? And I put, no, this is not for kids.
Not for kids.
Would any of ours be classified for kids, really?
No,
Exactly.
because of our mouths.
And like, think like, I mean, we've talked about video games. It ain't a kid stream.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to seriousness.
But
Sorry about
what's
all
nice
that.
though is that we've gone through these experiences and we can recognize these flags, these red flags,
Well,
because
again,
most of the time,
guilty of not on occasions because I was allowing other forces
yeah.
to lead my mind and my thinking.
Well, yeah, it was kind of it's kind of like that.
Remember Liz?
I was just gonna say that it was kind of like that with my ex.
Yeah,
You know, once I realized, wow, you're actually kind of a terrible person. That
exactly.
I should not be
All
around.
the sex in the world is not worth this.
Ugh.
You know, and I went a step further. I married one of them. You know, and it was an
I just feel
abusive
bad A-Rail
relationship
that will live
because
that
of it.
long.
So,
I just feel bad our friend I'm calling him A-Rail because I can't drop the actual name. He dealt with her that long
yeah.
after Mazeboy here.
Oh yeah,
long,
no,
like
I know.
easily 3 times longer.
Yeah, whatever. He's kind of mentally numb anyway, isn't he?
Well,
No, I'm sorry. I don't want to get off on that.
Too late.
yeah. But here's the thing, though, with my ex is I am not the kind of person who I'm just going to let you push me around
No.
and I'm going to do your bidding and say, no. You're going to get off your ass and do something too. And that's what she wanted. She wanted somebody who, oh, you're going to be a good little boy and you're going to listen to what I want and you're going to serve me and do all this. Nah, sorry.
Well,
Not happening.
again, that's one of those unrealistic expectations.
Yep.
And you found out the hard way.
I bet you her mother was very similar to that.
Maybe.
She treated her father that way.
Maybe.
And a lot of times I think how you were raised kicks a new chapter in.
Oh, yeah.
your life.
She had a lot of demons though too.
Well,
Like she
that's-
says she's gone through therapy and stuff. Oh, my therapist helped me. Your therapist needed to do a lot more than that,
And,
sweetheart.
and you don't know. There could have been trauma. And what you're talking about is that there's an argument in developmental psychology. They call it nature versus nurture. So how much you actually, like mental health disorders, how much you actually born with, and how much of it is actually due to your environment. Like, for instance, kids that grow up in, poor health conditions, not eating right, things like that, they're more susceptible to health disorders, sometimes mental health disorders. There's a lot of stress in the household, yelling, screaming, fighting,
Yeah.
That's
shooting in the
environmental.
neighborhood, huh?
That's environmental.
That's environmental.
Yep.
Yes, that would be the nurture part of it. The nature would be more the brain chemistry. But anyway,
Well, what you're saying is that some of it's maybe DNA passed down.
you're right. It
Some
it
of
is
it-
a mixture, and I think it's individual, because there are also occasions of people who have, and I mean we know about them. There's people that have stuck out in history. They grew up in deplorable situations, and yet they've somehow prospered through it, through various reasons. I heard a story about the guy that he was running Gideon Bible. He was working for him. Came to the church, CMA, and he told his story about, what the heck was it? His mother was raped or something. She tried to abort him and everything else and all this others. He talked about, like, he didn't say it was him, but he talked about this individual that all these things had happened to. And yet, it's poverty. The father wound up in jail for killing somebody. The whole gambit. There's that word again. Yet he went to school. Some teacher latched onto him, gave him a Bible. At the end said, well, this individual was me, and through all this stuff, it was God, and then he got him to work with Gideon Bible, which are they're the ones that put him in all the, what do you call, hotels and motels, and if you ever open the drawer. So, I mean, amazing stuff. And, I mean, he's not just this. If you look, I mean, there's people that just, they should be dead. They should be dead, and they're not. And God has done something. Look at Trump. How many times have they tried to kill that guy, for heaven's sake?
Yeah. That's true.
God is done. He wants to do something with the guy, and I think he's doing it. So, yeah,
Some interesting points you made there.
just a couple.
Yeah. Actually, you said something that sparked something. I just wanted to jump in.
Yeah, sorry.
As quick as I was there, it's gone now.
You can go back to it if you want.
I don't know.
You don't remember what it is
forgot
now.
your point.
No, you were talking about people. I kind of forgot exactly what you were saying. But
Kind of,
what I-
you
what I-
wouldn't
well,
expect them to survive, and yet they.
Well, what I wanted to jump in and say is that how some people, you talked about how the environment affects you.
Absolutely.
But how,
does.
Yeah.
how something kind of inborn.
Genetic.
Some people, it's just inborn into you, DNA, that
Right.
you behave a certain way.
Sure.
Or maybe the environment did. But I remember a TV show. I relate, he knows, many things to TV shows. Sometimes they pick issues and they develop a whole plot in it. When I was quite young, there was a TV show. I remember my parents watched it. It was called, I'm sure nobody here remembers it. It was called Rich Man, Poor Man.
Nope.
Do you remember it? It was about about a family, and they had two sons. One son grew up with all these problems and went to jail, terrible. And the other brother ended up quite rich. He was into politics. He did very well. He had an education. The same family, the same DNA, the same raised the same way, but ended up very different.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that could be different people.
Mhm.
It could be even the same family.
Absolutely.
So,
No,
I
how
don't know,
your
I just-
how your DNA plays out is specific to you.
right.
All of it,
when you said
actually.
that, I thought, well, that kind of makes sense. But then I just thought of that show and how,
Oh no, there's different. And I mean, I'll use my own life as an example. My brother, who's a bitter, angry, and he's getting better now. Actually, I saw him recently. A bitter, angry guy. We both had the same upbringing. As far as I know, he experienced no trauma, that I'm aware of. And
Or
yet,
tell him maybe there was something that happened to him that he doesn't said.
I know who he's talking about. and
This is
he
true.
He was raised probably with more compassion than you. I mean,
Oh, I know.
He was raised.
I don't
very
even
well.
know if compassion is a word. More like, what's the word that you just kind of allow people that you give them kind of free reign of?
Yeah.
What's the word? I can't think of it. But
I know what
anyway.
you
Leeway?
mean.
Huh?
Leeway.
Yeah, I guess that's one way of putting
do
it.
whatever you
Closer
want.
than compassion.
Yeah.
You know, going with what you guys are saying, with growing up in the same kind of environment, that kind of happened with my grandparents. It was a very hardcore Catholic family.
Mm-hmm.
Had 7 kids. You know,
Good Catholic family.
Yeah.
Seven,
Productive.
Yeah.
Productive.
So-
Didn't believe in birth control.
well,
Or
you
rhythm
know,
method,
according to my
right?
grandmother, you know, each kid is a blessing, so they just kept going.
Until menopause hit, then it was over.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
children are a blessing, though.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was they all just were mentally screwed up at a certain point to where they started drinking alcohol and going partying and just
Alcoholism running your family?
yeah, to a point, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The grandmother or the mother would be like, "Hey, you teenagers can't go anywhere. You got to watch your brothers and sisters."
Right. So they revolted.
Yeah. So they were revolting and got into partying and drinking. Luckily, later on in life, they got better.
Right.
You know, they got over it.
And I could say,
And one of my uncles, I'm not going to say what happened to him. Something happened to him that I think may have influenced him to be homosexual.
oh,
Which, at a young age, you can kind of tell he wasn't like
did somebody
the big, burly, manly voice that my other uncles had. You know, just sound like a normal guy. He was more like, "Oh, hi."
did somebody do something to him, or is that
Let's
what you're
say
kind
that's
of
what
alluding
that's
to?
yeah. That's why I don't want to put too much.
No. That's fine. That's fine.
But yes.
Again, there was trauma experience.
Yes.
At some
And
level.
so he, you know, went homosexual.
Yeah.
And I mean, whatever, you know, I still love him as an uncle, but it's just the fact that he turned when he had a great life with his wife, had 2 great kids, had a, you know, perfect, you know, family life, and all of a sudden I'm throwing all, and if you're listening to this, sorry, you know, throwing all that away to do that. And it's like, maybe you should have done it earlier, before all
I've
that.
seen it happen before.
You know,
But
No.
this is the uncle who grew up with kind of feminine. You said
yeah, he kind of acted like, you know, he's more of a higher voice and like, oh my gosh, hello, that.
But see, some people, I
So-
think, when they grow up, they do have mannerisms that indicate homosexuality, but they grow up and they're fine.
Right.
And some people grow up the football player type,
Yeah.
and they end up being gay.
Everybody's
I mean,
again.
so-
Everybody's an individual.
So it's hard to make that as an indicator.
Yeah.
But again, you said he ended up getting married, had a couple kids, and then maybe left the family.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's very common.
Which it's become
Well,
a trend.
yes,
I,
well-
I remember when I was working at Salamanca, the guy that ran a Salvation Army, same thing happened to him. He left his family, divorced his wife, and married some guy. And I ran into his son, and I mean, he's come to terms with it, but he's still got a godly perspective. He told me it's still a sin. You know, I love my dad and everything else, but I'm sorry.
You're right. That is more common than people realize.
Well, because what our society
Sorry, buddy.
has done. I mean, back when, you know, I'm not gonna say men have not gone through, what would you say, identity crises through their life, because I think we all get to a point and you go, where in the Sam Hill am I? You
Right.
know, what am I doing here? What's my purpose? But then there's those that, you know, what am I doing here? Well, my purpose is now to become homosexual. So whether or not that's some kind of latent thing, I think part of the problem is because our society has normalized it, and it's become an acceptable. Because years ago, in the 50s, did you ever hear it? No, it didn't even exist. If it did, it was scandalous.
In the 50s, some of those shows, they never allowed a heterosexual couple to sleep in the same bed.
Nope.
They had twin beds.
Because
I can
we
tell
had
you,
standards.
I Love Lucy, the Denny Thomas show, they showed a bedroom situation. Just kind of something going on. There were 2 single beds.
Yeah,
That's how the 50s were.
That's what I said. Because of our generation, those things
all of a
started
sudden,
to.
Now it's totally.
Yeah, and we just went
180.
again. Where are the boundaries? There aren't any anymore. Next thing you know is well, it's already happened. Anybody can find porn, hardcore porn.
Yep.
Without
You're right.
too much trouble.
Yep.
Whereas back when we were growing up, it was the Playboy magazines, and that was the extent of it.
I remember going
you
to
got-
the drugstore and in the back room, and some of the guys, we were at maybe junior high, and
Loitering around and checking out
finding
the
those magazines, Hustler or whatever. Yeah, I
Hustler
remember-
was like, and Larry Flint went through a lot of what do you call it, indecency charges or whatever because of the stuff he was publishing.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, Hustler was like,
Yeah,
they went like, yeah.
that was a little more to the other.
It was like,
yeah, I remember
instead of triple X, it was like X-rated. I mean, they didn't show penetration, but everything else but,
And nowadays it's
well, now it's just,
everything.
well, exactly. And then have you noticed how much more violent it's become?
nothing's left in imagination.
Well, not only that, but just, I mean, sex it's more like, they're fucking the shit out of each other to like hurt each other, and we've got
There was
bondage and all that
what
other
was
crazy
it?
stuff. It's
I
not an
forgot-
act of love anymore. It's
I
like
forgot
an act
where-
of war.
I forgot where I saw it. It said the top porn searches throughout the world. And you want to know what number 1 was in the United States?
I'm afraid
Mom
to
and
ask.
son.
Really?
That's another boundary that we went right over.
Mom and son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like sister and dad or that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Incest type.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Incest,
Incest.
And it's like, what the actual fuck?
Because there's no boundaries. There's no rules. Bestiality, same thing.
And especially on top of all that, there's more and more girls going towards OnlyFans and porn.
Okay, what do you base those statistics on?
I mean, go to the website.
I don't want to.
Go to the website.
What do you mean?
just-
Wait a minute. There's more and more girls going there to what? Oh, and use it? I think
Yeah.
it's still. I think this.
No, to go into OnlyFans and to make money off OnlyFans selling porn.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because-
but it's still the most the biggest. What's the customer base is still male.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the chicks that are.
But it just seems like,
More so than
especially, I mean,
And they
especially,
make more money too.
especially promoting through TikTok and stuff.
Yeah.
Almost every girl I see on there has some kind of OnlyFans link to go watch her doing all these things. Oh, you're not going to find this on any other porn site. You can only find this on my site.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you pay $50 for a 20-minute video.
It's the oldest game in the
It's
book,
like,
man.
my gosh.
It's the
you know,
oldest
just-
game in the book.
Oh yeah, and like you said, it's like an act of war. This porn stuff is, when the girls say, "Oh, you're not going to find this on a normal porn site," I don't even want to know what they're doing to differentiate themselves from the norm.
Well, again,
you know?
it's because I don't know, the 90s, I'm going to say 80s or 90s porn probably started because of the advent of videotapes and things like that. So now you can.
especially the internet.
Well, this is before the internet.
Oh,
This is before the internet. And they started out kind of mild, and then it just got more and more and more. And now, yes. I mean, now it's like I said, I mean, it's more like a rape scene. And a lot of them are, and they're intended there's nothing loving about rape, you know.
And I
So-
think in the future we're going to see with AI.
Oh, it's already coming
a
about.
lot
yeah.
more
It's already
of
there.
this type of-
No,
AI,
it's already
yeah,
coming
AI is
about.
already there.
98% of your Google searches first pages is AI.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and they're becoming more and more concerned because then it takes away people's social skills, for criminy sakes. Because you don't, if you've got an AI friend, they always agree with you. They never disagree. You're thinking that's perfect, right? But it's not. I mean, think of it. After a while, you need somebody to challenge you. Especially if you get into stupid, funky thinking, So, it's whatever. And it's what I mean. I think it's like the internet and the computers, where it's, or like money, if you want for that. It's a tool, and it is what you make of it and what you use it for.
Yeah.
You can use money for a lot of evil, or you can use it for a lot of good.
Yep.
Same thing with the internet.
Think
and-
like example for AI. Like for example, there's chat. What's it called?
Chat GPT.
GPT.
Yep.
So I use that if like, give me 5 of the cheapest cell phones that are $300 and under.
Okay.
And what the chat thing will do, it'll give you 4 or 5 or 6 examples of what you want. And you can narrow it down. I want a blue phone with 25 gigs of storage and this, and this. And it'll narrow everything down for you. Which, you know what? This is awesome. This is nice and convenient, and it even shows me where I can go buy them.
Right.
Yep.
But you can also use that for evil. I want Scarlett Johansson with double D tits, this, and that.
And a padded ass.
Yeah. So
No, it's true. That's true.
and with all this AI stuff, when you've been single for so long, circling this back to the main topic,
I know.
as a straight male, more and more of those look more tempting
I understand.
because
It's like
it's
the
like,
new
hey,
bull-
here's this AI stuff that you can get of, like I said, Scarlett Johansson with
It's the
big
new
tits.
improved blow up doll, buddy.
Yeah, it really is.
I know
And
it is.
These websites and advertisements and all this other crap you see all the time. I'm noticing more porn abs on Facebook now, like legitimate porn ads. I can't talk, and it says, "Hey, click here to have a good time," or "Click here with horny singles." It's like, this is fucking Facebook. I've clicked.
Well, but
there's
remember,
there's an
that AI, all it does is process information. So you got to be aware, too, of what you're clicking because it's gathering all that stuff. And if that becomes one of your preferences, that's what's going to show up.
probably through TikTok more than likely.
Well, whatever. If you're hitting it, they probably gather information from everywhere. That's the whole idea behind AI.
Yeah,
They
but
can just mega process information.
it's insane though that you can like report the ad and say this is pornography, sexual content. I don't want to see this, and keep pressing to mute and get rid of the ad.
It probably
And-
just makes it come back more.
It does.
I'm thinking.
and not just porn though, but anything like
Right.
search on my phone.
So your best bet is
2000,
what?
2007,
Just totally ignore
2007
it, I guess.
Ford truck or something.
I understand.
And then those are the ads you see all over your Facebook. It's just truck ads.
It's
like-
that's AI.
Yes.
That's the beauty. Yeah.
I was looking at some older cars of the 50s and 60s for fun, just to to kind of compare what I remember. And I kind of like looking at those old 1957 Pontiac my dad had, all those old cars.
Yep.
All of a sudden, that stuff kept coming up.
Yeah.
Every time I went to a site, they had those. They break in with those ads.
Yep.
And you're exactly right.
I've had that experience
Yes.
too.
It-
Yeah.
would you-
And with Facebook and the internet all pointing this stuff towards you,
absolutely. Yeah.
crams even more stuff down your throat with the homosexual agenda,
It's-
with porn, with if you're a single guy,
only as much
you
as we-
you can do this, this, and this to boost your sex life. And
Only
it's
as
just-
much as we bite on it, though. See, that's the thing. That's why they call it clickbait.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Because it is. It's very tempting. And I understand.
And it's sad that we complain about MySpace back in the day being,
Full of mean, nasty people.
yeah,
Kinda
and
like
Facebook
Facebook
is
is
so
now.
Facebook is so commercialized with ads and crap like that. It's
Well,
like,
also
geez, it's just
people
10
with their
times
stupid,
worse.
half-witted opinions. I understand.
You know,
I mean, the whole, like with Charlie Kirk getting shot, all the people putting up just whatever.
People losing
I'm
their
happy it happened.
yeah, and there's people actually physically losing their jobs because of
I
what
know
they
it.
said about Charlie
I
Kirk.
know it. I know it. And
And-
yet, yeah, I don't. No, I think they should. I don't think they should be saying those things.
Yeah.
I mean, if a gay activist got shot and killed, you better believe they'd be the first one screaming bloody murder.
Oh, yeah.
About get revenge, you know. But the Christians, his wife has already forgiven the guy.
Saw
hear
that
that?
on TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is a huge statement.
That takes bravery.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. Somebody said it at his memorial. Something about when you kill a dictator, the cause dies with him, but when you kill a martyr, the cause comes to life, or something along that.
Continues for many years.
Continues for yeah.
And I've even mentioned this to you before we started thinking about doing this podcast. You're going to kill one, and more are going to come up.
Absolutely.
Now, 2 or 3 kids around his age, my age, are going to start doing the same thing.
Yep.
If they die off, more are going to be influenced, and more and more. And that's why I think that's why one of the reasons why he was shot is because what he was doing was working.
Yes.
What he
And it
was
was
doing
right. And it
was
was right. Yes.
getting under people's skin and being like, he makes a good point.
No, I know.
You know?
This is what prompted me to say this to you guys and to bring this up. Was that, yeah, exactly. Because we shouldn't be afraid to speak the truth.
Because, and going back to what I was saying, walking on eggshells, we're forced to walk on eggshells because of what society tells us. But it's like, no, I should be able to say what I want. I should be able to say what my religious beliefs are. I shouldn't have to be walking on eggshells. I shouldn't have to be, treading lightly. Oh, I'm offending you.
Well-
I'm sorry if I mispronounce your gender because you look like a guy chick. If you don't tell me, I'm just going to assume. And if me misgendering you is the worst thing that's possibly happened to you, grow up, because life is tough. And there's a lot harder things in life than just doing that.
These are the things that are being challenged now. Yes, absolutely. Because, and again, remember, we're saying these things because we're speaking on truth, not the truth that we made up, the truth that,
Yep.
we acknowledge, as Christians and as godly men, that this is the truth. This is what we believe our laws was on moral conduct and moral order. And that's the reason God gave those things to us. And just like when you break other rules, like the laws of physics, and you try to defy gravity, there's repercussions for your actions.
I'm not going to worry about gravity.
Exactly. I used that today with him. I don't think I like gravity. I don't agree with it. I'm just going to walk off the top of this building. And I don't identify with having my body smashed to pieces, so therefore it will not happen. So, but anyway, yeah. And I think it all comes back to, again, us speaking in truth, talking about things that are important, that matter, because they matter to everybody, not just to us. It's not like what color socks do you like to wear or whatever. It's about stuff that's affecting all of us. And in the past, I think that's been a lot of, and probably me too, is a lot of us have this, you do you and I'll do me. And it doesn't always work, because if you do you, then like we're seeing, it kind of flows over into who I am, and they conflict with one another. So the other side is, they're not using persuasion and love, whereas we are. They're using arguments, they're using violence. They're trying to inflict their ideas and their ways upon other people.
And
they're not trying to
trying to force them down your throat,
exactly.
too.
Which
I've seen many of videos where a person is preaching the gospel on the side of the road, and somebody from the LGBTQ community. Now, I'm not saying everybody.
no,
I am saying the ones that I have personally seen. I just want to make that very clear, so I'm not, blaming everybody.
no.
But there's certain ones I see who get verbally and physically violent,
Absolutely, they do.
pushing them and punching them, and it's like, calm down. You don't
Well,
see
where
me
do
trying
you-
to knock
I
you
mean-
out because you're gay.
Well, and that's
know.
the thing. It's we're not. So when we respond like that, they don't know how to. That's why they shot him. They didn't know how to handle. All they wanted to do was like cancel culture.
Yeah,
Just shut him up. We don't care. We don't want to hear you. It's not even that we don't agree with you. It's just that we don't want to hear you. We don't want to hear that because it directly conflicts with what we're doing, and it actually, if you take it, it proves us wrong. Because, like we kept talking about, I mean, if you follow evil to its ultimate end, what is its ultimate purpose? To kill and destroy and nothing else.
Right.
There ain't nothing good that comes out of it. It doesn't want life, These abortion clinics were started to save children. They're started to kill them and wipe them out. So, Hitler wasn't a nice guy with a bad attitude.
going to back to the abortion thing, where you can just put the kid up for adoption.
Yeah.
Adoption needs to be easier to get these kids out of orphanages.
I don't think that's the problem. From what I've heard, there's an overabundance of individuals that want children. They can't have children. That's why
There's
they.
an overabundance. You said
of people that want children but cannot have them. That's why a lot of them go to other countries to adopt children.
And I think a lot of them also are busy women, maybe women who have never been married, and they still
Maybe.
want a child, or they decided they're getting too older, they have a career, and they're waiting for the
That could be some
so
of them.
They
Yeah.
want to adopt.
Yeah.
So they what do I want to say? They wait longer, and it's tougher for a single person maybe to adopt.
I don't.
Well, whatever.
I don't remember who it was. I remember hearing somebody's story, either like a cousin or a friend. I don't remember who, but they attempted to adopt, and they just could not get to it because they had to go through all these hoops, all this riffraff, and it's like
I mean,
I don't-
they're
I
not
don't
just
remember-
gonna-
I
It's
don't
not
rem-
like the pound. Well, even the pound has.
I don't remember what the exact reason why they couldn't, but they just couldn't because there were so many blockades preventing them from doing
Well,
it.
maybe
Well,
they
I'll
weren't
tell you
supposed to
a good
have it.
example of that.
Maybe I don't know. but-
I mean, a good example is actually my youngest daughter's. All her siblings, they were all adopted through Catholic Charities. So as far as I know, it's not. I mean, that's one case.
Well, Catholic Charities is easier.
Right.
Some of them.
I
and,
don't-
and that's probably where I came up with it's difficult to.
And
Adopt,
that's why we
but-
have to be careful about. We hear one story and then we broadly apply it to the rest of the world.
No, you're right.
Well, I had a cousin who wanted to adopt a baby. She was older, quite a bit older, but she really wanted to adopt. She had to go to Vietnam. Her and her husband, he had grown-up kids, and she was late in life, married, and they flew. They both had to fly to Vietnam. They had only girls. You can't adopt boys, the non-Americans, Asian, and so they met the baby. They had to come home for like a month or two. Then she had to fly back herself and pick up the baby and come home. And they had a plane with many babies that were being adopted that time because they had sections of the plane for the babies. But it is really hard. Sometimes it's very expensive.
Our buddy
to
Joe,
adopt.
he's from India. You remember Joe, the little short guy?
Oh, yeah.
that-
Yep.
He's,
Guy,
he
he had
was-
glasses, right?
Yes, he did. Yes, he was adopted along with his brother from a couple here in town. So, there was another couple I know from church. They had God, I don't know how many kids, and they adopted a girl from China.
And
So-
it's pretty pricey, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
The
Well,
lawyers-
yeah, but I mean, so is having a child.
Yeah.
True.
But-
You know?
but
That reminds me, my cousins actually, they adopted a kid from Korea, and I guess they had the money because the husband is in the military, so
if you have the
but-
money, it's another
Well,
issue.
whatever, you know. I don't know how.
But no, we had our best friends adopted a child. Oh, I'm talking 40-some years ago.
Yeah.
And they went through Catholic Charities.
Yep.
And actually it cost them nothing. I mean, it was very, very, it depends upon how you
would it
go.
still be like that nowadays?
I don't
know.
know.
I mean, like I said, I think that it's more the case of because we do not realize how huge the abortion industry has gotten since the 80s.
Right.
It has gotten they just don't promote what are my other options besides I'm pregnant and I'm poor. They push abortion instead of, I think, here's an adoption agency, go talk to them. The other thing that's carrying the burden is the foster care system, and they're overtaxed. There's not enough homes for kids. Some of the homes are not good too.
Well,
You get that. So
Once a child gets at a certain age, then the chance of getting adopted
that's the other
is
thing.
much more rare.
It's
because
true.
That's why the foster families take them in
But
because
like Jason, he's adopted one of the foster kids he took in. He's got another one. They're one of those families who work in the foster system. To the better. I think it stresses them out like crazy. I give them a lot of credit for. So it's like
I give you a lot of credit for a lot of people who have kids, and I don't know if they're raising them right or they're just acting out, but I see some kids in public. It's like, I don't know if I'm ready to have a kid yet.
Well, you gotta. You grow with
but
the
all
child.
parents raise them differently.
Absolutely.
You can't judge-
No, I know.
And
I know.
again, what he said is true. You are probably going to have a tendency to raise your child
Well, you were raised.
in the way that you were raised.
Yeah.
It's just what comes naturally to you. It's like you picking up a foreign language all of a sudden. Likelihood of it is not good. But it's a journey.
But you were talking about abortion, and I know that's a sticky issue. People look at it different ways, but I sometimes I think about it, and I look at some girls who are pregnant, and something sometimes inside of me says, is even carrying a baby to term is going to really affect them.
Yeah.
A,
What do you mean by that?
to give up a baby, but B, go through the family. The families don't want them to keep the baby or to go to term, just to eliminate the problem. And I think that's one of the issues with.
Yeah, have you?
No, I'm just saying, it's maybe one of the many issues that I'm not saying it's my issue. I'm saying that.
No, it's something
I
that could be
can see
taken
it
into
out there.
consideration.
Yeah. So,
But the ultimate factor is that the psychological trauma that women experience after abortion is dramatic.
and then
It's real.
And another issue is, when do you consider that baby an actual human being?
Conception.
And conception.
Conception.
They say, the 3 months.
That's a debatable
and
thing. I know.
That's another debatable thing.
But from our as God, it's at conception,
Yes.
because that's when the sperm and the egg come together and you create life. DNA exists, so that is life.
So there's so many factors to look at, and there's another factor was when if there's something wrong with the baby.
Right.
And I know that they say security for terms. What if you're carrying a Down syndrome child? And
I've known a lot of Down
Well, yeah,
syndrome
yeah,
kids
I-
that were.
Yeah.
But I think that's another issue. I mean, a person might not want to deal with that, and they say, you know, it's hard to give it up, and who else is going to raise it? You know, so there's so many different issues there.
I know.
That would be a great topic to spend a whole podcast hour on. It's just abortions. Because everybody has a different look at it. I think that
Well, right, and I think that's part of the problem, is that we're confused about, like, for instance, when does life start? And you know, according to us, you know, again, I keep asking us to walk the godly route and not to hear the confusion that the world is sending us, because they can't figure out when life starts. Well, I just said it. It's not a secret. But they want to argue it in order to justify it's not really a life, it's a clump of cells. You know, we're all clumps of cells if you really want to look at it that way.
Well, now, for example, for that morning after pill.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it, but I know.
It
So
aborts the child.
yes,
Well,
even though it was right after conception, I mean, maybe you don't even know you conceived. I mean, if you have a wild night of sex, you say, "Oh God!" So next day you take the pill. I don't have to worry about it now. It's something, you know. Maybe I was in that danger zone. I could get pregnant. I could not get pregnant. So you take the pill, and all of a sudden you don't have to think about it. And you may have ended a life, and you may not have.
yeah, well, also,
So you don't
if you're
know.
going out there having wild sex all the time, how responsible is that to you to even begin with?
To be a parent.
To be a human being. I mean, if you don't get, what about, you know, you're not even considering, like, what do you call it, STDs, things like that.
Right.
And the kind of person, I mean, their mentality is to go out and get sex every night. And to me, it's like, giving them that, why can't you use a condom, first of all? Second of all, it's like absolving you of responsibility, which is what the world, just a lot of people in the world want today anyway.
They want the easy way
They
out.
want, yes, they just want to be absolved of the responsibility of life. It's probably why our suicide rate is up,
Yep.
you know? Of course, then you got to ask the question, so what happens after that? You know, well, I don't know. Well, you're going to find out.
Circling back around,
Yeah.
well, suicide rates for men are extremely high
Yes.
because
Identity crisis. A lot of stuff.
that's
Confusing messages.
confusing messages, being single, don't think you're going to find anybody, because the world puts so much on a man's shoulders, and society does.
Yes and no. They do, but it's more like guilt. It's not responsibility.
Well, yeah, it's people, you know, pointing at you saying you have to be mentally, emotionally, and physically strong, and if you're not, you're a pussy.
And that's a lie and a misconception.
Yeah.
And whatever. Again, we're getting back to, you know, who's sending these messages? Why should I believe them in the first place?
Right.
And that's why I keep going back to, you know, I don't know where my Bible is, but, you know, what did God say about it? May not be a popular opinion, but
But all right. So, in closing, was there anything else we wanted to add, gentlemen?
no.
Nope.
No, I'm all set.
All right. I think that is a pretty decent spot to stop.
What's this
All right,
topic
folks.
about?
This is Amaze Point 91 in Manakai.
Hi,
And also,
and bye.
And Mr. Meth Head. I mean, drummer guy.
Guitar guy.
Jumper Guy and Godfather, thank you for joining us on this podcast.
The God non-binary
You're welcome. man.
individual.
The
Comment, like, subscribe to the channel, check out the Patreon, and you folks have a good one now.
I'm gonna go home and go sleep and die.